Hello, how are ya? It is Tuesday morning. It is March the 7th. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week to chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Hopefully, getting your day started off on the right note. Let us raise our coffees, sip in unison to a beautiful, beautiful day. Hold on. Yep, that hits. That hits. All right. Let's talk about all of the things that we are monitoring this morning. First and foremost, a little bit of fog out the door. We'll be chatting about that. Plus, kids on the playground. Not the only things playing around. The pattern is turning. What are you doing, Mother Nature? We've got you covered ahead today on Coffee Talk, plus whatever else it is that you want to chat about. First off, let's look outside, see what's doing. This is a shot from our Tower Cam network. We're looking lovely. This is in northern Brevard County in the Merritt Island Cocoa area. It is beautiful. You can definitely tell there's a little bit of haze on spot. That's just one of the cameras. Many of our cameras showing the exact same thing. So just keep that in mind. All right. Not too bad here in Brevard County. Visibility is running in that 9-10 mile range. But look out west, Leesburg, you're at a mile, half mile, Forest and Ocala, Wildwood, just over a mile. The metro's fine. Anything less than a mile or in that area is where it's foggy. Over in Brevard County, unless you're like on the top of the bridge looking out, you probably don't even recognize that there's much in the way of a haze. So, lovely start to our day for most, but there is little pockets of fog. And I tweeted just a couple of minutes ago that some of that fog has been spilling over into parts of Lake County. In terms of temperatures, it's comfortable. We're sitting at 69 in Orlando, 66 degrees in Leesburg. Not a bad one. 66 in Ocala. Yeah. All good things. All good things. Terry says foggy here in Dunellen. Citra, good morning to you. Brian, I hope you're doing well. Pat, Terry, good morning, everybody. It is lovely. Our first warning, Doppler radar scanning the skies. Not seeing anything. Love to see it. Love to see it. So where do we go today, right? Well, we're headed to 79 by 11 o'clock, 84 by 1 p.m., and again today, it's going to be a toasty day. Do we get to record heat? It's possible. Frankly, it's likely again. We did it yesterday. Why not do it again today, right? 10% chance of a sprinkle or two. We're not expecting there to be too much in the way of rainfall. As a matter of fact, if we look at the rain zone, and this is something I'm going to be trying to use a little bit here the next couple of months, but today's rain zone isn't all that impressive, you know? Not really zeroing in on much, so that 10% chance of rain is a thing. I will say, though, talking about that product come summertime, I think that that's really going to be a neat little product, working on it over the weekend. The idea of the rain zone is who has the bullseye? Like, where's the best chance to see rainfall? That's going to be something we'll be playing a lot with this summer. Love it. All right. Always trying to push the meteorologicalness forward. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know what I mean. Hopefully you know what I mean. Anyway, high temperatures today. Average is 78. We're making it to 88 in Orlando. 84 in Daytona Beach. 84 in Melbourne. 87, woof, over into Palm Bay. And about 89 degrees today in Leesburg. So not a bad one. Frankie, you making the drive today? Very good. Jamie, good morning to you. How's my ear? Went to the doctor. Got it taken care of. All is good. I hear good. I hear good. I hear fine. No pain. We're good. Yeah. $40 copay later. I'd have paid. Don't tell them. I'd have paid double. The kind of relief I needed, I got. Oh man. I need to get the. I haven't worn these glasses in a while because they're not fitting right and they hurt my head. So I need to go to the eyeglass place today at some point and get them just tweaked around a little bit. That won't take too long. So anyway, Anne-Marie, good morning to you. How are you? Chris Pierce, good morning. Kenneth, how are you? Love it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's having a great day. Nice warm day ahead for us. That much we can tell you. Let's talk about those records. We know it's going to be a toasty day, but do we get to records? Here's the forecast. Temperatures on the left, the records on the right. And you can see, yes, once again, we're in the ballpark. Now, Orlando, not necessarily going to get there. not necessarily going to happen. But think about this. 1938 is today's record. We're going to be in the ballpark. Like, it could happen. Think about this. What happened in 1938? The night of broken glass, if memory serves, essentially starting World War II, right? I think. Let me Google this. The Great New England Hurricane happened in 1938. Germany begins its persecution on Jews. Yeah, okay, there you go. The average new house was $3,900. That's today's record in Orlando. It's in the ballpark. Not expecting it to happen, but it's the ballpark. So that'll be interesting. Sanford, your record goes back to 1961. We're expecting to tie that. Leesburg, your record goes back to 77. We're expecting to blast that one. Yeah, Kristallnacht. Yeah. So there's some long-standing records. Now, what's interesting here, if I may, what's interesting here is it's a hot day today. We've had a hot stretch. What's interesting about the hot stretch, before I even get into the surface map, we've now had 4 straight days at or above 90 degrees in Orlando. The last time we had 4 straight days of 90 degrees or below or above in Orlando was September of 2022. Think about what has happened since that. We've had 2 hurricanes hit our area. You know, like, that's how long ago this was. It was right around Ian that we had this heat. We haven't had this heat since Ian, you know? And we're already on track for at least a top 10 finish in terms of days above 90 degrees in the month of March. So we've had 4 days at or above 90 degrees. I did this research yesterday. It's not worthy of a graphic yet, but follow me. We've already had 4 days at or above 90 degrees. The last time we had a streak like this was 2020 in the month of March. Listen, the world was on fire in 2020 in March, but because that's when it all was kind of going downhill. But 2020, the month of March, we had 9 90-degree days, if memory serves. I did this yesterday. So, you know, it'll be interesting. Now, the pattern is shifting a bit. Okay, we're not going to be sitting at 90 degrees the rest of the month. We're hot now, but looking to tomorrow, we are going to have a little bit of a cold front move through our area. And that's going to set us up for a really nice and comfy end to the week. Then Friday into Saturday into Sunday, another frontal boundary. And then next week, another frontal boundary. People, we've got some adjustments. So let's just look here, okay? First and foremost, 88's the high temperature today. Next cold front moves through. Our high temperature tomorrow, 80 degrees. All right, there's step 1. Step 2 is going to be this weekend. High temperatures this weekend in the lower 80s and a few showers. Step 3 is going to be next week. And it's a biggin'. Listen. We've been looking at this on Coffee Talk for a minute. Okay? Truth be told, I fully expected the models to back off on this, but they're not. Still, and I'll show you the model data because that's what we do, right? Coffee Talk, we dive into the data. But what I think is particularly interesting is the fact that the models have not backed off on it at all. So where are we? We're in March the 7th. I'm just curious. I'm just looking real fast. So there was a little bit of a, yeah, okay. All right. I just wanted to look at something on the LRC to see how this lined up. All right. So, yeah, kind of an interesting little thing. You want to see the raw data? All right. So, and by the way, this is raw data from a forecasting website that we use. I'm working on getting it into pretty graphics. I'll show you the graphic that I'm for here. I'll show you. This is the template. It's not done at all, but this is where I'm at in terms of making pretty graphics. So this is the template I'm working on. No, ignore the rain chances, but this is the look, the panels and stuff. I've started working on this. Anyway, that's what I'm working on graphically. It'll look better than this. That's my goal, is to have something that just looks prettier. But at any rate, this is the temperature graph. It's the GFS, and my goal is to just be able to show you prettier version of this. All right? So here we are, and you can see today 88 the high, and then we kind of get into the 70s. And again, this is one model run, one model, but you get the idea. 70s, then we kind of warm a little bit, and then we drop. That's 64. That's Wednesday, March the 15th. That's next Wednesday, a high of 64. Look at Thursday morning's low temperature, 48 degrees. And then it starts to climb again, and then it drops off again by the end of the month. So it looks to me like we've got quite a stretch of adjusting temperatures here. You know? And for friends that are always like, I always think it's funny because we start to warm up February into March every year, and every year people are like, is it time for me to, trim back the trees and plant my other plants? And I'm always like, no. We're going to get another cold. It may not be like what we had at Christmas, but we always get it. There's a reason I got married in March. Because odds are it's not going to be hot as can be yet. You're going to have those moments, but you usually get that little taste of cooler again. And here's your sign, right? So there you go. Interesting stuff. Taylor says, I hope the models play out. I've been loving the pool weather, if I'm honest. So I have enjoyed the heat. My personal litmus is the air temperature has to be in the 80s or above. So most of this, half of the next 15 days put me into pool weather. The other half, I just keep the pool cover on and just don't go in. Whatever. Such is life. Oh well. It is what it is. My brother says I like it. John, question. Is this pattern shift for Florida and the rest of the country? Well, overall, yeah. I mean, for us to get into the chill, it's going to be impacting the rest of the country as well. Have a good one, Susie. Be good. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. Taylor says, I love the water, but I'm not ready for swamp blank every day yet. Touche. Brian with always the long questions. Ay, you make my brain hurt. I remember last year when you were tracking Ian, both you and Tony talked a lot about 2 red squares on a map. The questions are as follows. What are those red squares called? What do those red squares do? Where are they actually on a map, and do they ever move? And are the red squares always there normally, or are they created by other weather events? Holy cannoli, Brian. That's a lot of questions. They're good questions. Brian, you and I need to sit down and have a talk show together. All right. So the red boxes that Brian is asking about are known as the Abair boxes. I think we haven't colored it in yellow on our graphic, though. These are the Abair boxes. They do not move. Bring Brian on for the coffee talk drive-thru. That's not wrong. I just need to have every graphic I've ever built at the ready for it. Great questions though. Brian has never asked a bad question. But Brian, you do always keep me on my toes. All right, so the Abair box, this is something we use during hurricane season, and the scientificity of it all is gentleman by the last name of Abair. I don't remember his first name offhand. I could Google search it, but he worked down at the National Hurricane Center, and what he found was if there was a major hurricane that crossed these boxes, they typically would hit Florida, okay? And so in our case, Charlie, Francis, Wilma, Irma. I mean, you could keep going and going and going and going, but that's the idea behind the Abair box. I think, Brian, that's what you were referring to. I would imagine as much. Question, can you talk about the red tides and how it will affect the beaches closest to us? Yeah, so the red tides are happening over on the Gulf Coast. And it has a lot to do with water temperatures. This is the temperature anomaly map, and you can very clearly see the water temperatures are well above average, particularly on the Gulf Coast. And so what ends up happening is that's blooming up that algae. It's typically a Gulf Coast thing. It's not as much an Atlantic Coast thing. But, with the water temperatures so much warmer than average, that's playing in. That's now in March. Come spring and summer, that's going to eventually start playing into hurricane forecasting. It is. Oh, this is the model data. Anyway, you get the idea there. So, water temperatures are well above average. Yeah. Patty says, we don't have a pool cover, and we have been loving this weather. Much cooler in Palm Coast and Orlando area. Patty, from one pool owner to another, the water, when you heat it, evaporates like a son of a gun. A pool cover is about the only thing you could do to kind of help that. Evaporation, right? So if you cover it up, at least you block a little bit of that evaporation. And you keep some of that heat from providing a latent heat release or evaporation and cooling you down. So it helps. It helps. Janice is asking, did Ian cross a box? You're going to make me work. All right. Stand by, Janet. Janice. Let's look. So this is the graphic. All right. I'm going in raw mode here. All right. Tropical track. We're asking if Ian crossed the box. Let me look. Stand by. Stand by. Add tropical historical tracks. Stand by. I'm adding in Ian. Oh boy. Okay, well that's obviously not Ian. Hold on. Let me hit the database for Ian. Just because you asked. I don't know if it has Ian in that database yet. It doesn't have last year in the historic database yet. Stand by. Tropical track. Stand by. See, this is the only problem. I will tell you, this is the only problem when you ask good questions and I don't have a graphic for it. Let me do this. Let me add a new tropical deal. New tropical track. Single storm. Ian. All right, so there's your answer right there. Did Ian move through? There's your answer right there. Yep. Janice. It may have taken a while and you may have had some boring coffee talk while I was building the graphic, but yeah, Ian moved through. So there's your answer. The cool thing with this computer system is that you can do a ton on the fly. The struggle is that my brain doesn't go as fast. Oh, look how pretty that is. Speaking of which. Taylor, Chris is going to need you to get the April calendar out. Yeah, I need to work on that. All right, I'll work on that today. Patty says we just don't have the room for the pool cover roller with the grands playing around the pool. I get that. I mean, I've got the pool cover roller on one side, and when it's not the season, I pull the roller and just put it on the side of my house. Yeah. Sibirs, is the A-Bear box during the whole hurricane season or just toward the end of the season? No, it usually is A-Bear during the whole season. I believe that's where we're at. Yeah. Yeah. Bean juice needs to make Brian... What? Taylor, what? Bean juice needs to make brain and fingers go zoom, zoom. Oh, bean juice, coffee. I see. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tina, I know we were laughing at Chris still asking. It's because Chris is my accuracy guy. He criticizes and critiques my forecasts, so he always wants to be on top of it. That's who Chris is. Chris always wants to... Oh my gosh, I have got to get to Warby today to have these looked at because they just hurt my head so much. You have a few days to get April out. Chris can wait. We had to wait for him to return to Florida from Phoenix. Good point. That's correct. He's my accountability manager. That's correct. That's what he is. Sidebar, talking about accountability, there's a neat little storm system and we don't use the BSR. I mean, I use it off camera, but haven't used it a ton recently. But let me load it up here. There's a little storm system showing up. Give it a second to load. Stand by. Okay. All right, there's a nice little storm system showing up on the BSR. And if you're unfamiliar, the BSR is one of our long-range forecasting techniques. Jeremy Nelson was pointing this out to me the other day. Little storm system there. Ooh, little storm system there. Cold front. See that guy? That'll be a little fun little thing. BSR showing something interesting. That will be around March the 20th. Yeah, around March the 20th, nice little Gulf storm system. And then another one kind of going into the panhandle there. Yeah. See that? Around the 24th, March 24th, 25th. That's going to be a fun little storm system. If that ends up playing out, we'll have a little threat for severe weather around my son's birthday. So it looks like the week after spring break looks to be a little busy. Spring break being next week, at least for us. I don't know, maybe it is for you, but at least for me it is. So the week of the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, there's a couple of storm systems that the BSR is showing working through our area, so that'll be interesting. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Yeah. I missed the hurricane forecast, Candy says, because I was traveling. Could you put up the map? Yes. All right. The hotspots map. Stand by. Here's our hotspots. Very similar to last year, ironically. It's the first time that I have done the long-range forecast, and the hotspots have been almost identical. They're not identical. This year we have taken southwest Florida out, and we have replaced it with basically the panhandle, the Big Bend into the panhandle, and taken out southwest Florida. But yeah, in terms of us... Yeah, we're definitely there. We're definitely once again in a hot spot. Yeah. All right. So enough of all of that stuff. Questions, comments, concerns. I'll pop up the 7-day forecast while we're talking. Questions, comments, concerns. Anything? Anybody? You see that icon Saturday into Sunday? That means I'm going to be grumpy as can be on Sunday morning. I'll just tell you right now. Springing forward. I like the time change. I just despise doing the morning show that next day. Despise it. New sunrise and sunset times are going to be in the 7 o'clock hour. Springing forward to daylight saving time. Singular, not plural. Taylor doesn't like it either. All of us parents of young kids despise it. It doesn't matter the forward or the backward. It's all trash. But I don't want Florida to just stop. Like, everybody needs to stop participating in it, or nobody. Maybe those politicians will figure their stuff out. But I promise we don't ever talk politics. And I don't know who's pushing for it, a Democrat or Republican, a Libertarian, or I don't care. We don't talk politics. But I do hope as a whole we figure that out. And that's enough. We don't talk politics. We don't talk about politics. No, no, no. Jeannie says, I don't think we've ever seen you grumpy. Eric's grumpy as most folks meh. I'm meh most every day. You know what it is? If I'm look, I've promised to always be 100% transparent with you guys and gals. Television, when you see me on TV, that can 100% be an act. And when I say that, I mean I could be so tired and so grumpy, but I know how to fake it. And guess what? I'm not the only one. You think that you watch, you think Jim Payne's in a good mood every day? He's in a good mood most days. But not every day. You have to fake it sometimes. Coffee talk, I definitely fake it less. Like, I'll pretend maybe off the top to be like, good morning, blah-de-de-blah, it's a lovely day. But by about 10 minutes in, I have lost all my give-a-darns. And you get me. So in other words, like, there's going to be days, and I'm sure you've seen it. If you've hung out enough, you've seen it. Where, like, at the beginning, I'm like, look at how beautiful it is. The golf course, it's going to be a lovely day. And then, like, by 10 minutes in, I'm just like, I'm tired, y'all. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you've seen it. I know you've seen it. And if you haven't seen it, then you're just new. And that's okay. Fake it until you make it. That's true. Get it, Annie. Yeah. Teachers are the same way. Anybody in a performing world on any level is that same way. But the problem is that this is not television. This is just us hanging out. Like, I'm in a house by myself. My dog Stella is the only one here. So, like, maybe I'll fake it for the first couple of minutes. I'm excited. I'm happy. And by the end, I'm like, are we still doing this? So, you all know where I'm at. Like yesterday my ear was killing me. I was faking it. All of that joy yesterday was fake. By 3:30, when I had already gone to the doctor, we were good. There was no faking there. I was 100%, we're good. Oh, boy. Kevin says you pull it off very well. Thank you, buddy. Everybody has bad days. Exactly. Everybody has bad days. Jan says, we know you, Eric. It's true. It's true. Beverly, you don't have to be fake with us. We're all human. I may fake it off the top just to, like, keep it, but 10 minutes in, sometimes like 3 minutes in, depending how rough, you get the real me. And if I'm grumpy, you know it. John says, yeah, we've definitely seen your crummy days. You know it. But I feel like maybe it's a defense mechanism of mine, but I feel like it's just like, let's identify it and let's get through it together. Because at the end of the day, I also love that in my grumpier states, you guys all are with me and you help me smile. That's the truth too. And so even on my grumpy days, why don't I just not do coffee talk? Because you help me put a smile on my face. Even if I fake it for a little bit, odds are you're going to say something funny or Chris will ask for something annoying, meaning well, and it'll be like, well, it's like my kids. Even when they misbehave, it's like, I know you don't know. It's like, so it helps. The human condition is really something, isn't it? Yeah. Barbara says, I was a middle school teacher. I faked happiness a lot. Oh, God bless you. Middle school. My kids tease me about my customer service voice when I talk to people. Yeah. You know what's interesting? I used to have a television voice. If you look at me when I was starting in the business, it was like, good morning, everybody. Like, I thought I was a radio disc jockey. You're listening to The Morning Zoo. And through years and years and years of practicing and getting better and better and trying to get better, maybe not actually getting better. But the one thing that the consultant said, which I thought was so interesting, just be yourself. And in the last few sessions with consultants, they've been like, just do coffee talk on TV. Really? Yeah, just do coffee talk on TV. But that's not really polished. And you know what they said, which I thought was so interesting? I've always wanted to be like so polished on TV. And they're like, that's 1970s TV. The Walter Cronkite polished was perfect for its generation. That's not TV anymore. People want to connect with you. Really? So just be the coffee talk version of you. And I literally said to my boss, I'm like, sometimes I say stuff that I feel like you should fire me for on coffee talk. And they're like, you haven't done anything too bad yet. Which means either A, they don't watch, or B, I actually haven't crossed that line. At any rate, they want me to be more coffee talky on TV. So I'm like, okay. Which also means that if I'm in a grumpy mood, I'm going to kind of show it a little bit. Okay. There's that. We're here for you. Thank you, Becky. Thank you. Jeannie, thank you. Becky says, please vent away. John, does Stella and Tony Manolfi's Stella ever have play dates at the dog park? No, not yet. But remember, we're in very different chapters of our lives. Like, when was the last time I made it to a dog park? Oh, well. Linda, how did Stella get her name? My Stella got her name because I'm a huge Dave Matthews Band freak, and his children are Grace and Stella, and I picked Stella. How did Tony Manolfi's dog name get named Stella? I don't know, but there's a long lineage of meteorologists with dogs named Stella. I named Stella because of Dave Matthews, because I'm pathetic. I don't know Tony's story, but Tony has a dog named Stella. Dave Cacciarella, who used to be a meteorologist at WESH, now he's in our sales department. He had a dog named Stella. Barbara says, at the end of a long day at Disney World, I am faking it. Listen, we did Disney Saturday. The only thing I was faking was being awake to drive home. That drive home, I was like, stay awake, drink the coffee. I had done the morning show. Yeah, that was a rough one. Whew. Janice, your ear must be better. 100% better. Yeah. Jan, Eric after a gazillion-hour hurricane shift on TV, and I still show up for coffee talk, baby. There I may be faking the energy, but I'm not faking the concern or the need to get information out. So, yeah. Coffee talk is my morning routine. I would be lost if I didn't have you peeps. Frank, I feel the same way, buddy. Thank you. It's kind of fun when I go on a rant. It's because I'm like a NASCAR race. You never know when the crash will happen. And that's the way it is on March the 7th, 2023. Thank you, Janice, for being you. Thank you. Just don't say, what the hell is going on with the weather? I mean, there's probably a day when that'll fit. Probably. Did I ride Tron? I believe I have a reservation to do. I probably should check on that. Yeah. Eric, is little Eric feeling better? I know you said he was sick. Oh, yeah. He had... Those little kids, they fall hard, but they bounce back quicker than quick. Right? Jeannie's asking, have we completely gone off the rails yet? Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun. Venting is a good thing. keeping it in is a bad thing. That is true. That is true. Listen, you all get the best and the worst of me. It's like a marriage, or like a best friend, I don't know. Kit Cannon says, my son did Tron last night and loved it. I have to see when my reservation is. Yeah. All right. That's where we're at. And that's the way it is on this March the 7th, 2023. I'm Walter Cronkite. Thanks for joining us. Today's going to be hot. More records in jeopardy. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, you see we kind of drop those temperatures a little bit. And then, frankly, into next week, highs in the 60s possible. Holy cannoli. Bada bing, bada boom, Manolfi. All right, there you go. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will see you all later on for the 3:30 Coffee Talk afternoon update. We'll chat about where we're at in terms of the heat. We'll look at some of the new model data. Maybe I'll have this little lonely graphic that is only templated. Maybe I'll have this puppy done. Maybe I'll have this puppy done in time. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll have the April forecast done. You just never know. All right, be the sunshine. I'll see y'all later.